Hello and welcome to Ups and Downs, the podcast that shares successful and not that successful stories from the entrepreneurial world. Today in the studio we have Ondrej Spala. Do I pronounce it correctly?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for accepting the invitation.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good, thanks. Just after polar bear preaching.
Okay.
So it's really nice here. Yeah.
We can speak about polar bear pitching
yeah.
in a bit. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm interested. Can you introduce yourself briefly with a couple of words so like the viewers can know a bit more about you?
I was born in Prague, then moved to Helsinki. Now I am in Norway, and I've all the time tried to figure out some business possibilities, although everything has been fairly small scale now, but there is lots of lessons from that, and for me it's been a lot from many different industries, from sports to software to physical products. So it's been
quite a journey.
Quite an interesting journey so far.
Actually, like I think it would be interesting to explain a little bit like how we met. We met in Norway, in Kirkenes.
Yeah.
If I pronounce it correctly, of course.
In one of the three possible ways.
Yes. How is it? Kirkenes?
Yeah, I always say that many Norwegians say like Kirkenes. Then many Finns would say just Kirkenes.
Okay.
And then there is the maybe official like Finnish version that I found somewhere, Kirkkoniemi.
Kirkkoniemi, okay.
But then many confuse it with Kirkkonummi. So
okay, that's a different one. Okay.
That's a different place.
Yes, we met in Kirkenes or Kirkenes in January. We were attending Ice Festival. Do you want to share more about it? You were kind of one of the community builders behind it, one of the main people that were
we organized that. That was the third time, but the second time for me, what I remember. The previous one was in 2022, and it's pretty much one of the major events in the northern Norway region near the Finnish-Russian border. And the point was to connect more with the local partners and local players in the region, and also bring some international element for that, for people to be able to explore more what's going on there. And of course it was strongly business focused, but this time with many different topics, also touching education, youth from different perspectives, through energy sector, through possibilities of how youth can impact political decisions, but of course with a strong focus on the business part and how people can set up a business. We pretty much provided the venue for people to also meet lots of interesting players from different countries and hopefully set up some new business connections, and it was great to
we're a great example. Yes, for us it worked. But it's also interesting how, I don't know, was it like initially like initiative from the municipality of Kirkenes to convert like the old hospital to like a technology hub, so to say? Or of course probably there are also other players behind it, but it's really interesting how the progress, because Franziska, I think she attended the festival in 2022, and she barely mentioned like how it went in terms of the facility wasn't quite there yet, and now when I showed pictures, like the video, like the podcast studio that you have, also the ones that were under construction, the entire building was, if no one told me like that it was a hospital, I wouldn't believe like it actually was once.
I would actually say, based on my knowledge, it's a private initiative to take the building of the old hospital and turn it into Arctic leading entrepreneurial hub. And there is HNDG, High North Development Group company behind that, and they've started with the renovations. So they are very strongly focused on the building site, on the real estate, to really provide for companies to have conditions to grow. And then there is us from the regional development company, and we have different activities. One of those is ICE, which is fully focused on entrepreneurship, and we pretty much help make the conditions
Yeah.
for people to run a business or to visit the region and find possible business
Yes.
partners. And as you say, in 2022 it was really just old hospital building with very little refurbishment for that event. There was outdoor stage. It was called Northern Light Stage. It was in the middle of the building where there is like open roof, and it was really cool. This time, because we organized this one in January compared to November the previous time, it was without the outside stage, because the temperatures could have reached -30, -40, so we couldn't really take that risk, because that would be pointless at that point. But yeah, it looks completely different now on the first floor. But what's also great, as you mentioned, the studio, basically that's an example of companies moving in. So basically the festival 2022, where ICE wasn't like associated with ICE at that point yet, we just had a like business contract at that point, but then I joined ICE afterwards. But at that festival, Finnmark Productions, which is a local company that does mainly video production and some marketing services, they moved to Kirkenes, and they started their operations out of Nothing Hill, which is the old hospital building. And then, as they've been growing, they also decided to build a studio.
Great.
So basically that's one of the examples how businesses that are moving in start actually also benefiting and helping the community, because now everybody can easily rent a super nice studio to use the services. And our company does it, as far as I know, the Chamber of Commerce does it, and for sure many others that I don't even know.
Congrats for that. And another question, how you managed to bring so many people in a location that for me is like quite remote? As like in the first place, I thought Oulu was quite north. I wasn't expecting to attend a place that was even 700 kilometers, 750 kilometers, even northern from Oulu. And I believe Kirkenes is between 5 to 10,000 people, if I'm not mistaken. And during the festival, I think more than 500 people flew for it. And yeah, it was, the city was so lively.
Yeah,
during that time.
There is 3,500 inhabitants in the town, and 10,000 in the whole region. But the region is quite large. So yeah, it was, or it's always a huge inflow of people for such event. And basically the key tool in this year's festival was to involve many different partners who brought their audience as well. And then, of course, since we are talking about remote region, there is also a strong importance of funding, because you cannot really organize anything in such a remote, unknown location without external funding. So that was crucial, and we are moving towards the situation when we can organize events that would be self-sustainable. And that is very important, because that means that there will be enough people willing to actually fly without any support. There will be enough sponsors willing to connect their names with the company. Although we've had a lot at this point, there is always a possibility to grow. And but by going step by step, reducing the dependence on external funding, meaning from like public funding instruments, and adding the private part that actually belongs, or that's generally used in major events, then that's the way how also the region becomes bigger, because then we can attract even more people on different types of events. But for now, it's moving in steps, and also not everyone received the support to arrive. That would be wrong to like understand. But if we talk in bigger picture, to get people to a remote location, that's not really yet on the map. That's just taking its point, and now we talk about business map. Then that's necessary to have funding instruments. But at the same time, all the funding instrument providers realize that this is the way to go. So that's what the money is actually for. and they bring different restrictions. Like sometimes you cannot fund foreign citizens or like
Okay.
people from abroad. Sometimes you really need to focus regionally, and the region can have different definitions. So those are the constraints.
Okay, but another question that pops into my mind: how you ended up in Kirkenes? This is because you said you've been living in Helsinki for like 9 years.
Yeah.
So how you made the change? Like more than 1,300 kilometers to the north or around
Yeah.
that?
Shortly, it was an offer.
Okay.
It came pretty much after the ICMS Festival 2022, and then we started talking. Since this is called Ups and Downs, then yeah, there was also related to own business that didn't play out the way I would have wanted and wished. So then it kind of matched nicely that there is an offer, there is some extent a need, and it's an interesting challenge, and also a great possibility to help other entrepreneurs and to maybe change a bit of the local mindset, because I'm the outsider there, so I have also different perspectives on things, which can be for the good and for the bad.
Okay, thanks for sharing that. And speaking of that, you said I know like that you've had like your own companies in the past. Can you tell me like how exactly your entrepreneurial journey started?
Yeah, so I think it started around the age of 16.
16, okay.
So some 16 years ago, when I just started looking into things, how to make a little money to support living, but also make something useful for others. So that was really in sports industry, and it wasn't even like official businesses. It was more like really little money, but good experience, because you get to organize so many different stuff, from merchandise to event participation for sports team. So that was like the start. But then the first official part was during bachelor's, because I was curious what's actually happening in the real life compared to what's being taught at the university, and I really wanted to try to build something from scratch and go through the whole process. So I was looking for a very low-cost entry market where I could have some feeling of security in terms of, for example, price competition, because I knew I didn't have funds for actually competing with the huge budgets. So I was looking for a nice small market where I could practice. That was the whole point. I just wanted to practice what's being taught at the university compared to the real world, and get some initial experience with all the negotiations and all the stuff about. So I just built a small e-shop with sports equipment, got the suppliers, and started running online ads, and started selling, serving customers, negotiating new suppliers, negotiating deals, and that was a great journey.
Congrats. I'm pretty sure that you've learned a lot of lessons from it, from the e-com part. Another thing, like you mentioned multiple times sports, and I stoked that you've been like ice hockey referee for quite some time now.
I was actually, before I moved to Finland. So basically I did some 10 years of that and of floorball and together, and now in Finland I've continued just in floorball.
Floorball, okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay, the refereeing part. How is it?
It's
like a hobby, I assume?
It's a hobby, yeah. It's nice, you meet lots of people, but you also gain lots of experience, because every person you work with is different. Every game is different. You pretty much cannot make a mistake, but of course you will make lots of mistakes. But it gives you in a way lots of self-confidence, because you need to stand for your decision in many times. You need to be able to how to put it, to like tell people why you've made the decision, but at the same time sometimes you just have to say that
Mhm.
you have absolutely no clue what had happened, and that's also fair because it's different to watch the game
Yeah.
with this role from the field versus playing the game versus coaching
Yeah.
the game versus being a spectator. So
Mm.
that's a very valuable experience, and I would say from what I've seen over the years that people are less and less resistant to the pressure in the game.
Okay.
And now we are talking about people who are starting, which of
Okay.
course then it somehow translates to the business world, but at the same time I would say more and more people is at least in big cities getting to actually start some own business. So we are probably also talking about shift in
Mhm.
the hobbies people might have, and now we are talking about small group, but
Yeah.
just from what I've observed.
Yeah. Very interesting. Me myself, I have played handball for quite a few years on a semi-professional level, I would say. And yeah, due to multiple injuries, I decided that it was time to let it go, quit, know when is the right time to give up. Or not giving up, but instead of just moving on with things. But also, I've been like a football assistant referee and like refereeing on like small posts in my teenage years at high school. But yeah, it was a great hobby, and then at some point I just realized that okay, yeah, I'm making some extra money from it, but I'm not getting, I'm not that passionate about doing it. As a football fan, I'm a religious football fan. When it comes to Liverpool, I'm almost never missing a game, even like checking the result if I
Yeah.
miss a game. But yeah, I totally understand, and I assume was like ice hockey popular. Is it ice hockey popular like in Czech actually?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it
Yeah.
okay?
It's one of the main sports
Man,
for
okay.
sure.
Okay.
And the same here actually.
Yes,
It's just that
for
it was
Finland, I
more
know.
convenient to not continue here.
Okay, okay. Actually, Finland is probably the only northern country where handball isn't popular at all. As I saw like a guy in the gym, like with a handball shoes, and then I started a small talk, and it turned out that he was playing in Sweden, but yeah, he was just traveling, and during like his high school years, yeah, apparently Norway, Sweden, Denmark, they're like one of the leaders when it comes, but yeah. Maybe for the good or for the bad, yeah, Finland are not participating. But I thought hockey, like ice hockey, is also super popular, like with in Slovakia too, if I'm not mistaken. I have a friend from there, and he mentioned.
Yeah,
But
I think it's in many European countries
Yeah.
from the central, eastern, and
Mm,
northern Europe.
okay,
Then
okay.
when you get more to the south, then it's not.
That popular.
To the south and to the west, say like
Yes.
with
understood.
Germany, that's like the level where the popularity
Okay,
stops,
drops.
and then maybe like Switzerland, Austria, to some extent, but then you know Italy, Spain, France,
Yeah.
they do play, but
Not
it's
to
not,
like
it's
that.
not big, and I haven't followed that much in the past years, but
Okay.
that's something what I
Yeah.
believe hasn't changed too much.
I don't know much about hockey, honestly. Like, it's not popular at all in Bulgaria. But interesting, actually. Like a few months ago, I saw like that an ex-professional football goalkeeper, Petr Cech, he started competing after retiring like from football. He started competing in ice hockey as goalkeeper, and yeah, it was interesting to see how professionals at that age have still the mentality to compete, to win, and the eager to do it.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I haven't really followed,
Yeah.
but if I remember correctly, he used to be one of the smartest football
Yes.
players. So
Yes.
yeah,
I
guess
believe
it's
so
also
too.
part
There
of
was
a
something
hobby,
like
maybe
this.
of relaxing out of work in a
Yeah.
different way. But yeah.
And yeah, speaking, you mentioned the power bear pitching in the beginning. It was my first time attending the power bear pitching. Was it your first too, or you have attended in the past?
It was first time.
First time.
I learned about it when we were preparing the festival.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I saw there is the side event,
Side event there, yes.
possibility. So I was like, yeah, we need to do this because it's something nice. So
Collaboration and also.
yeah, exactly. And we were talking about having a pitching competition at that time, so it was really kind of fitting.
Things aligned perfectly.
Yeah, things aligned, exactly. And I know it was really late for organizing that, and the organizers from here, from Oulu, actually told me that if we weren't actually preparing a pitching competition during the festival, it would have been too late to do the site event. But since we had this kind of in the process, we just had some team discussion and convincing, and then we did it. It was really popular. We had I think we had something like 18 applicants, 9 competing startups from 7 different countries, and 4 investors from 4 different countries.
Okay.
So in total it was, I think, 10 different countries
Yeah. Nice.
participating, and it was in Lavu, in this kind of big
Igloo?
tent.
Is it tent?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, it's kind of triangle tent, and there was this makeshift ice hall, which was pretty much ice bath for us this time, but it was really popular. It was one of the highlights of the festival, and pretty much everybody wanted to see it. And the tent, the lobby was full. There were no more spaces. We were standing, sitting all around. So it was really great, and I hope we will do it next year as well.
Crossing fingers. Yeah, Nick was participating too, representing Scaleport AI. And yeah, I was asking him, was it actually that cold? Because like from outside, like, and especially like when I saw how much ice was there in advance and how we had to break it, like just so people can get in and like pitch. And then adding additional snow from outside. Yeah, his experience, because he prepared like in advance, of course. But yeah, he said like that he kind of just went with the flow. And yeah, I wasn't expecting to see that many people in the Lavu. In that, I was assuming that they can fit maybe like 30, 40. I haven't counted them, but it was full. Like, I've never seen that many people.
I think we were close to 100.
True, close to
100. Or
100.
maybe even above that.
Great experience. But here also yesterday, like the polar bear pitching, like from the ice hall, the temperatures for Oulu were relatively high. It was relatively warm, around -1, -2. But I don't know, because of the wind, I felt cold the entire time. And yeah, poor participants, they did pretty great. Like all of the ideas, all of the stuff. Now the startups, I haven't checked like the statistics where they from, but there was quite some diversity. There was a team from Iceland, I believe 2 teams like from Japan, a team from Norway. Yeah, quite diverse team.
Kazakhstan.
Kazakhstan too, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about them.
And maybe some more as well.
Yeah. It was a great event, I would say, and
it was really nice in the square, where also general public could kind of easily observe, not get into the main village, but being able to see it.
From the
that was
side.
really nice.
Okay, I hope you made like some good connections here, and yeah, looking forward for either ice or polar bear pitching. I want to participate, so yeah, like the energy was so good yesterday. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we are actually also discussing circular economy summit for probably later this year, so that will be another possibility.
Which location, if you don't mind disclosing?
Of course, in up north.
Up north, Kirkenes again, I believe. Okay, great.
That's where we focus the work we do.
Okay,
and that's where we have to focus the work we do. We have some projects that also require us to do things in other locations, such as Iceland, Faroe Islands, Greenland, but that's like one of many projects. But in general, most of the things we do happens in our Kirkenes hub.
Yeah, it was amazing because I've never expected to meet a person from Greenland, as like the population of Greenland is somewhere around 50,000 to 60.
I thought it was around 80, but
is it 80? Okay, so it's 80.
Sure, yeah.
Okay,
it's huge enough.
Yes, but yeah, and actually like during ICE I met like two people from there, like a startup owner and an investor also, Martin and Nikos. Yeah, it was great experience. I wasn't expecting honestly like to go that north, had the possibility to pet huskies. It was, yeah, a completely different world for me. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I know like you're running out of time and you need to go back to Helsinki. So a few more questions. A book recommendation.
A book
Yes.
recommendation.
Yes.
Wow. I used to read quite a lot of business books.
Mhm.
It usually comes in times. Sometimes there is enough time to
Okay.
read, and then it gets slowed down, and I feel like there is time to actually get back on the track with reading. Great. One I do really like is The Invisible Hand of Data.
Invisible
Yeah.
Hand of Data, okay.
There would probably be many to mention, but this one somehow stands out. It's from the Japanese author, and if I remember correctly, because I haven't read it for some time, but it sticks to my mind, it was about how movement of employees impacts productivity and how companies can improve productivity through actually not tracking this, but
Okay.
utilizing the data and pretty much support the results, and that also boosts happiness of the employees.
Great.
So something along these lines, and this is fairly easy to read. And
Great. I will add it in my list for sure. And another thing, an event that's happening like in the upcoming weeks, months that you're excited about and you would recommend to the viewers, listeners that want to attend.
I know of two fairly big events
Okay.
in locations that might be interesting to visit for many.
Okay.
So one is in the very beginning of May in Faroe Islands. It's Tonic 2024, and the other one is in mid-May in Reykjavik, Iceland. It's Iceland Innovation Week.
Okay.
So
cool.
I would say these are two very interesting events that are upcoming.
Congrats. Thank you very much for sharing this. And thank you very much for accepting the invitations. Kinda last minute.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was a great talk, and yeah, looking forward to see you again in the upcoming months. And yeah, thanks for the ones that made it till the end. And yeah, see you in the next episode.
See you.
Great.
Thanks.